Hi everyone, welcome back to our Geterbrewed channel. So today we're very honoured and privileged to bring you to Belgium, to Dingemans Malt. Dingemans Malt. It's a malt that complements our portfolio exceptionally well. For many years I've wanted to add this portfolio of products, and finally we've been able to add them and bring them to you in the UK and Ireland, so come on in and see the maltings. We're at the start of the tour in Dingemans and we've come into the Barley Intake area. You can see it's nicely covered. We've got one of the trucks being unloaded here at the moment, and there's a 150 tonne per hour intake through one of the intakes here, and then 60 tonnes per hour intake here, and then the range of silos behind. So some silos that hold 4 truckloads, some silos that hold 10 truckloads. So every silo here is turned every 4 weeks. So you can see a lot of attention to making sure it's a real fresh product. Everything's analysed at every stage as it comes in and then processed throughout the maltings. Into the lab here, and you can see there's a lot of different tests, a lot of different scientists doing their thing. So we've got screening tests, so 2.2, 2.5, 2.8 mil, anything below 2.2 is going to go to feed. Then we go over to germination tests. So Karl was showing me every load that comes in is tested. You can see the little red dot here, and once that appears, that's showing that the barley is suitable for germination. And then we have some forced germination tests here, which is just water sensibility tests. So you can see that some here isn't germinating, whereas here some is, and at different stages. You can see samples taken at every stage through germination, and then make sure the process is moving along nicely. So you can see the colour change. So obviously this is one that's just been recently steeped, whereas this is one it's at a more advanced germination level. Extract tests, EBC tests, colour tests was carried out visually, and sample taken, diluted down, and then just visually checked. Yeah, look, to be honest, I'm not a scientist. I know how to make good beer, but I leave this up to the professionals. But it gives you a little bit of an insight that everything's checked here that you want on your spec sheet, and that you can refer to it so that you can consistently make a high quality beer in your brewery. Yeah, we can see there's a large team of scientists and engineers working in here, so you can see they really care about the quality of the malt. Okay, so we've come in, Karl's kindly allowed us to see the first steep there. So it's green barley that comes in, roughly 60 tonnes, 60 tonnes of green barley. And then the water is added to steep. That is the steep process before it moves on to the germination process. So what's happening at this stage is that the steep has been complete and it's being emptied down into the germination boxes, which we're going to show you, which is on the floor below. But if you look inside here, 60 tonnes of barley, soaked well, mixed properly, being turned into the boxes below. Okay, so this is a pretty cool room. I want you to check it out. It's a Lousman machine, and you can see that the malt is literally just coming in off the steep. Coming off the steep here, and then it's going to be germinated throughout the whole room. This machine is constantly revolving, and as it reaches the correct height, you can see that it pulls the malt forward with itself, and obviously the floor is adjustable as well. So once it gets near the end, it's able to be lifted up and adjusted to ensure that there's a nice level amount of barley. Okay, so I'll take you a walk along and you can see, obviously this machine moves throughout the whole length of the building, but visually it's really nice to come and see and sort of get the dexterity of actually getting your hand in and checking the malt. So we can see that this is probably coming into its third day. Each box holds 58 tons of malt, and it rotates daily is moved from one box to the other as it progresses. And you can see that each box has got its own temperature controlled climate, and visually, if you look, this has obviously been sprayed with extra water again recently, so you can see the colour's much darker than it is here. It's much lighter, and this is a much more advanced stage of germination. It's much warmer. You can see the steam lifting off the barley. You can see the shoots coming through there. It's actually a little bit stickier. And what I was mentioning to you about temperature, every box is climate controlled. And if you look, this box is obviously it's empty because they have to rotate one for cleaning. So you can see the thermometer probe there is able to take readings at different stages, and it just gives the guys that precision control to be able to take it from one box step by step, one day at a time, and move it along to create the best barley that they possibly can. Right, okay, so I'm going to take you in and show you one of the germination boxes here. So you can see when you come in, long rectangular germination box. So really what's going on here is, so they do the steep to get the moisture into the barley, and then the barley comes down through these chutes into nice level piles. Once it's leveled out, there's a slotted floor here, and the moisture will run down underneath the slotted floor and be reused and recollected, and then the temperature is controlled. Obviously it's very important how they tweak the temperature at this stage equally as much as it is at the kilning and roasting stage. So they'll maybe maintain it at 16 degrees and maybe maintain it at 20 or 22 degrees depending on what barley or malt they're trying to create. Germination takes place, and you can see this is wheat, and it's probably a few days in at this stage. You can see the shoots coming off it there, and temperature, I don't know the exact temperature, but it feels something like 17 or 18 degrees there. This is an automatic system where the turnstile will come up the edges and turn it over as it moves its way up and down the germination box. Okay, so this is currently a wheat, one of 15 of these germination boxes. I think there's 6 slightly larger ones that we're going to visit later on in the tour. Okay, so we're in the kiln now. So it is like a sauna, yeah. So when you walk in here, you'll not see it on the camera, but the humidity is, it's very much present. And Karl was just explaining that the depth of the bed next door before it's transferred in here is 120 centimeters. When it comes in here, it's 80 to allow that more even drying process. So the kiln, you can hear it in the background. It's operating 3-meter wide fan in beneath, and obviously the hot air is coming up through to make sure that it's dried. Multiple checks carried out before it's then moved on to the storage bunker at the end. So the room that we just took you into, a lot of noise, so that's where the electricity is being regenerated and reused. It produces 400 kilowatts. Now an interesting figure is the fan here that blows the air up underneath the kiln boxes that we've just been to, actually uses up 200 kilowatts of that power. So it's really useful energy to be capturing, to be reusing, especially in the current climate given the price of energy. The biggest blue roll I've ever seen. Okay, so I'm going to take you in now and let you see a few of the roasting drums. So there's 2 2-ton drums in here. As you come in, be reminiscent with what a coffee roastery would be like, with the drum here and then the cooling area here. So up above the 2 2-ton drums there's silos that hold the malt. The malt is then dropped down into the drum, and the heat is gas coming from beneath the drum. And what's happening there is that the gas is huge heat, but it's controlled. The temperature and moisture is controlled by the flow of air. So air can either be put around the drum for doing caramel malts, where you need a little bit of that moisture to get your betas and your alphas, and then for the just plain roasted malts, the air goes through the middle of the drum. So the aroma in here is beautiful. This is black malt that's on the drum at the moment. You know, just that real burnt toast, really, really aromatic, on the nose sensory experience. And I have to say, it is such a, you know, it's hard to explain to you guys at the other end of this. You know, the aroma in here, it is outstanding. The whole setup is just that, you know, there's a skill involved in this. It isn't just putting it into a machine, programming a number. You can see we've got a lot of different maltsters in the background here, viewing, testing and checking at every stage. So you can see this is what one of the cooling drums looks like whenever it's empty. So it's very clear, you know, once the process is finished, that door is open, the malt comes in here and it spends a period of time cooling. Okay, so I'll take you over here and give you a quick look in the kiln. So you can see kiln door. Once we lift the door up, you see ferocious gas burners putting the temperature required for the roasting drum. Okay, so now I'm going to take you in and show you around the packaging area. Okay, so coming into the packaging area, malt is conveyed in and loaded from the top down in. You can see that the guys place the bags on the machine here. And this machine has got quite a serious capacity. You can do 600 bags per hour. So the malt blown into the bags, you can see it fills one bag at a time. It's weighing every bag precisely. It's actually vibrating it to make sure it's getting a nice even fill. And then it runs through the stitching machine. So it gets a stitch across the top of the bag. The bag comes through here. You can see that it's getting laser sprayed. The batch code, name of the brand of malt that's going into it. It travels then along the conveyor on the robotic packaging line. Pallets are loaded into the machine here, and then there's a little pallet protector lifted here, goes on top of the pallet, and then the robot packages the pallet one bag at a time. 40 sacks go on these pallets, 40-25 kilogram sacks, creating a 1 ton pallet every single time. Once the pallet is built here by the robot, it'll travel through, it'll get a layer of protected plastic along the top, and then cellophane wrapped to give it durability and stability. Now, if you look around the rack in here, you can see that there's lots of mixed pallets of malt that are already open. This is the area where they would pack mixed pallets for local breweries. So whenever we order from Dingemans, we order full truckloads, 24 pallets at a time. It comes one single pallet of each variety. We don't get mixed pallets, but this is clearly for the local brewers. Pallets are CP1 pallets, then nice little cardboard protector on them. It stops the grain bag falling through the gaps of the pallets where sometimes a forklift could catch that. Just gives it an extra level of protection. So you can see the pallets come off rollers, come down here, and then forklift truck will come in, pick this up, and then put it into one of the loading lanes. So it's nice to see that the Dingeman staff do things quite methodical. And then lorry loading bays at the back, and then more storage on the other side of it. When you see the facade at the front of the building and the nice sign whenever you drive in, you're maybe not aware of the heritage. So behind that facade are these walls. These walls are built in 1886 now, albeit they've changed the malt silos to steel, and they hold 100 tons roughly per silo. They are still housed within the original building, so a lot of heritage, a lot of history, and still an independent family business, which is really important to us as an independent family business ourselves. So let's go and have a chat with Karl outside. Today I'm joined by Karl Dingemans. We're outside Dingemans Maltings, and we're really privileged to be able to bring Dingemans Malt to the UK and Ireland. And an important thing for me is the history here. It's an independent family-owned business, and Geterbrewed's an independent family-owned business. You're now fifth generation here, Karl. So
fifth generation, yes.
Tell the guys at home that are watching this a little bit about the history here.
Yeah, we started in 1875 by my great-great-grandfather, and now the business is run by me and my brother. I'm working now in the malting since 1995, so more than 25 years, and my brother is also working more than 20 years here. We are traditionally maltsters. We, of course, in the beginning, in the 1800 something, there were many malt houses and many breweries in Belgium. Now there are only four left in Belgium, and we typically supply to all the different beer styles we have in Belgium. Like we go from Lambic to Gueuze to the cherry beers to all the Trappist breweries. We're very proud to say that we supply all Belgian and Holland Trappist breweries for part of their main malts, base malts, but all the specialty malts as well. And of course, with good malt you need good barley, so we really select the nicest French, sometimes from Holland, sometimes even from the UK barley, but it all starts with very good barley.
It's lunchtime.
Yeah.
You're mentioning we've beer to try, so let's go in and grab a beer.
Great.
So that's the Dingemans malting tour. I hope you learnt a lot, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get the opportunity to try these malts. They're available on the Geterbrewed websites now. They're available to craft brewers and home brewers. Check them out in the website links below. Thanks so much for watching. Happy brewing.